Welcome back, everybody, to the ESL India Premiership, brought to you by Omen by HP, HyperX, and Intel, and presented to you by Nordwin Gaming and ESL India. We're ready with the Counter-Strike Global Offensive game, ladies and gentlemen. This India versus Pakistan of sorts here. A lot of hopes from both the countries, from both the teams. Who will win? Because last time we saw Entity Gaming, they didn't fare well against SRA. They were in shambles. They lost. They lost to Intensity Pune 5. And that should have been an eye-opener that nobody's safe in the Masters League. And in fact, that brings us to today's game. I've been told the players are waiting since a long time. They're in the lobby. So let's quickly get to know the teams first one by one. Let's start off with Entity Gaming. Well, that's Simmer City, Falcon, Hellranger, and Gang there. That's Entity Gaming, India's one of the foremost Counter-Strike global offensive teams here. In fact, while we're at it, Angie, what do you think about Entity Gaming as a team?
I think Entity Gaming is a fantastic team. As of now, they do sit third on the board. They're taken 2 losses as of now. One was a loss because of a little bit of disqualification that happened for them. But the second loss was a very interesting one because they did lose to a team that was sitting 9th on the board, and that was Intensity Pune 5.
The first loss they had was against War Gaming. That's how I think War Gaming won that game.
But it was considered as a disqualification. I mean,
no, there's no disqualification. They got.
It was.
Oh yeah, it was it. Yes. I forgot. It was against Too Easy. My bad. Yes, you were saying.
Yeah. So as of now, but they have played about 6 games. They are 1-4 and they have lost 2. But they're looking fine for themselves.
Okay then. I happened to sneak peek at the feed also. Somebody said CSGO is live and they have paper tomorrow. Buddy, please study. We don't want that on our conscience. Please, come on. All of us are graduates here. We've done our college. Have we? Have you all done our college?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I'm just confirming. So, buddy, please study. CSGO can happen always. ESL India Premiership happens for throughout the year. The paper will just like happen once. And a lot of good wishes coming in for the teams here. But let's quickly move our focus on the opposition here. Team Portal eSports from Pakistan. Well, that is Portal eSports from Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, our, how would I say, international team. I'm really looking forward to host them here at the LAN finale. I hope they make it. I hope their government passes the visa obligations because last 2017, 2 seasons, Anoop, Phobia, the guy who is the league ops head for ESL India Premiership, he's been trying vehemently to get a Pakistani team to get some halabaloo rolling in, but sadly their government doesn't want them to come to India very weirdly.
That's very sad.
And then look at it. It's so ironical. Their government cancels their visa even though they are sports people, they're athletes, they're esports athletes. Guess what happened yesterday in the news? Kim Jong-un goes to South Korea holding hands. Those 2 countries have been at it for like God knows how long, and now and they are like being friends, and our neighbors can't send the athletes over. So sad. We need to see more global solidarity when it comes to sports, yeah. But again, that should not be reason sufficient for Portal eSports to play bad. They are an equivalently great team. They have happened to be in the Masters League for quite some time. Now I've been told the veto is live. Yes, the veto is live. It's a Mirage game. Okay then, Cash Dust 2 Nuke banned by Entity, Overpass, Inferno, Train banned by Portal. And I'm pretty sure why the Inferno got banned. They know Entity can be dangerous on Inferno. if given the chance. They want to make it as aim-based as possible, Portal Esports. They know the strengths. I'm presuming, given this kind of a ban, I believe the fact that Portal Esports have studied Entity's previous games. So they are going to be in a lot of trouble if they don't rally up their troops. What do you have to say about that, Angie?
I mean, Portal, as of now, they are sitting fifth on the board. They're looking pretty comfortable. They have only taken one loss, and that was against Invictus. But other than that, they have secured 3 wins for themselves and are looking very confident coming into this game, if you have to tell me. I mean, I think they just got to make sure they have a great coordinated gameplay. They have good rotations coming in from them. And I think they can take up Entity Gaming pretty well. I'm going to give them that. Also, if they have watched this game against Intensity Pune 5, maybe they could really find out where are the weak spots in Entity Gaming that they could really use
where
for
the
their
chinks in the
privileges.
armor are. You're very right. In fact, if you take a deeper look at the standings, which is on your screen right about now, Portal Esports is on a cozy 5th. They're 2 spots behind Entity Gaming, who already managed to lose 2 of their 6 games which they've played. Portal Esports have lost 1 game so far.
Yeah.
Sorry. And out of the 4 games they played, they won 3. So they are one win short of leveling the number of wins with Entity Gaming, which will also put them in the ranks of teams like Slaughter Rage Army. It's going to definitely put them above Slaughter Rage Army because they've literally maxed out the number of games they can play.
True.
And they are at 10 games played, 6 losses, 4 victories. So Entity Gaming will face a lot of trouble from Portal Esports if they don't buck up. In fact, if you see down under, ERT, Intensity, Malar, Too Easy, are in similar situations because they have a lot of games under their belt, so they can cover up the deficit when the time demands it. Well, that's the standings for you guys. Let's quickly take a look at the map first, Angie, before we head out of the game. Let's take a look at Mirage.
Mirage. While Mirage relies heavily on middle control, thus enabling the terrorists to oscillate to either bomb site. It offers a different dynamic of seizing bomb sites instantly through carefully placed smoke grenades.
All right, that's Mirage for you guys, and that Sasta David Attenborough's voice there. Try to pull off a planet Earth there. Sadly, I just somewhere reached. Alrighty then, so I've been informed the game is ready, the players are ready. Angie, who are you rooting for? I know it's going to be Entity.
I would vote for Entity Gaming, but I also want to say that Portal looks very
No.
strong. And also, I also want to mention this one thing, that they are playing at a ping problem, so they're going to lag a little bit in this game.
Who?
Portal Esports.
Of course.
So I mean, I got to give them that little bit.
I'm pretty sure they're playing out of Islamabad. A couple of my friends are in Islamabad. They live out there. One of them has a very beautiful organic honey farm.
So that could be a little bit of a problem for them coming into this match.
No, but then again, okay, what's your favorite map to play other than Dust 2 and Inferno? What's my favorite map? Wow, what's my favorite map? Actually, okay, now that's something to think about. What would be my favorite map, Angie? I think I would love to play Overpass. It's a pretty fun map, and because of this gosh darn Adi, now I like playing Overpass a lot. So that's there for you. Overpass is my game. But before we head off into the game, Angie, so Entity Gaming.
Entity Gaming, if...
No. There's no... Okay. Let me be very clear. It's either this team or either it's that team.
Which I doubt they can.
No need to be a political party, Angie. There's nothing about diplomacy. You choose your favorite team right now for this game.
I would go with Entity Gaming. Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
So I've been also informed that apart from Angie, all the production personnel in our PCR, except one guy, is with Entity. So just to provide some solidarity and support to our neighbors from across the border, it's about time. It's about time we see Portal Esports show some good CSGO.
Very good.
I'll support Portal Esports this time. So let's see who will win and who will lose. Let's head on to the game.
Welcome everyone to the Sunday matinee matchup. It is going to be Entity Gaming facing off against Portal Esports from Pakistan, and to take you through the action, it's going to be myself, Bleh, and joining me as usual is going to be Adi.
Hey, Blair, yes, it is India versus Pakistan today.
You love to say it, don't you? Like,
Yeah, I have to say it, right? It's building the hype, isn't it? I'm sure they said it on the desk multiple times as well. And we do have Entity Gaming starting off on the CT side of Mirage and Portal Esports on the T side. And just before we get into this, I'm going to say that I hate Hellranger because he told me in the start of this year that their permaban is going to be Mirage, and now they're playing Mirage. So,
well,
yeah.
old habits do die hard, and dying hard. Let's see who's gonna make contact here first. It's gonna be a pretty one-dimensional entry coming out of smoke for jungle. Then they're going to be taking control of jungle. The bomb is out in the open. Criminal taking a lot of damage. Marzel's going to get a kill in the meantime. He doesn't know there's a player right behind him, but he's going to find Criminal before it gets taken down by Feint. Feint with a block, who's looking for the duel with Amaterasu. Not quite able to get the kill, though. He's still somehow running around and staying alive. As Amaterasu doing the smart thing, falling back. There's no need to take the fight, and look at this flank coming in from Hellranger. One tap to the side of the skull onto Trans. He spots out Feint as well. Now they know where all the players are. HSB has got a lot of work to do. It's a 2v3. Bomb's still down. They don't really need to go for this fight. Bomb still has yet to be picked up, and Sai's keeping an eye on it. And Falcon, I'm not too sure if they spotted him out yet. He's playing a very passive angle. So right now we do find ourselves with a Mexican standoff, so to speak. 2v3. What are they going to do here, Adi?
I really like the way Entity played this, but Sai just waiting. And finally, HSB with a crazy one-tap onto Sai, and Falcon whiffing his spray, but Hellranger is there to save his blushes. And Entity, they played this round perfectly until the end where they had to hit their shots. But yeah, what I was saying earlier was like, I really like the way Entity played that round. Complete and utter discipline. Nobody peeked because they knew that the bomb hadn't gone down yet.
Yeah, that was a great bait setup as well between Sai and Falcon, except, yeah, Falcon, we did see, he did whiff his shots a little bit. The USB is a little, it's got a, soul of its own when it comes to shooting people at the back. I'm sure you know how that feels as well, and Poke destroys Sai. The Deagle right between his eyes. And now the pincer is coming in. Marzel is going to get pressurized, and he's going to get taken on by Feint with a CZ, and all of a sudden, they are losing a lot of players. Feint finds Amaterasu as well. That boost is going to be a tell, by the way. The Hellrange is floating towards short. So a two-man advantage, and this seems to have not really gone the way of Entity Gaming. Hellranger does get a kill, but still man advantage for the Pakistanis.
Yep, and this keeps happening, doesn't it? Even Fed said this multiple times. The anti-ecos. It's really problematic for a lot of the Indian teams. And now, I like what PES is doing. They've got the picks, and now they're bunching up together, slow playing it, and Entity is split up. That's the main problem for Entity right now. And HSB with an interesting way to smoke jungle, and then he gets the Deagle shot onto Falcon as well, and now Hellranger stuck in a 1v3. He's gonna try this, and he does walk in, does get a frag onto Feint. Now it's a 1v2. Trans is really low, but he's going to peek out, and Hellranger isn't expecting that peek. And PES picking up a round, which they shouldn't have. The anti-eco being lost by...
break it down for me, right? Like, what did Entity do wrong there? They had a pretty slightly aggressive setup coming out towards short, but then Sai, there's nothing much you can do. He had a scout, but a beautiful shot coming out from Poke. 4v5, then Marzel getting caught with his pants down towards Connector. Like, what would you have done different on that anti-eco?
Yeah, before we get into that, right, I do want to bring notice that if you could just hold up tab, right? Hold up the scoreboard, you can see the pings on the Pakistani players, right? It's pretty rough. 115 is their best ping, like, basically, and they're anywhere between 113 to 148 ms. And the problem with that is CS's interpolation works in such a way that it gives the peeker the advantage. So that's what happened to Sai there. The terrorist peeked out, and he didn't see it. He must have seen a pixel of Trans or whoever, of Poki, before getting his head blown off. And it's the same thing would have happened right now for Criminal as well, because of that pop flash and the peek out. And it's just basically Entity needs to peek a little more aggressively and take advantage of that ping deficit, of the ping advantage basically that they have. Hellranger taking a bullet to the head, and somehow he survives it at 17 HP, while Trans in the meanwhile has got a frag onto Marzel. It is a full eco almost, and Trans gets another one onto Falcon as well. And Trans, I think he has spotted out Amaterasu as well, but it's not sure. Hellranger gets taken down a connector as well. Amaterasu whiffing his spray, well, his pistol spray.
It's a 5-7. I'm actually surprised to see a 5-7. I haven't seen that pistol in any professional game in a long time. But yeah, PES, very solid. Anti-eco coming out, just one casualty that was towards mid, Criminal falling. Apart from that, great round overall. Trans picking up 3 kills from Palace. And for Entity Gaming, bear in mind, it was a force buy. So it is going to be a full eco territory that they're going to be finding themselves in for this round. P250s will come out, of course, on all these players. Hellranger with a solitary nade as well for, probably trying to do some damage towards the PES players if they do opt to come down towards mid. But in the meantime, that A bomb side, it's a full stack coming out here. Marzel's pushing up all by his lonesome, just looking to gather some information. But the rest of the players, this is a curious stack. You don't see this that often.
It's a very weird setup indeed, and I hope that USP isn't picked up and that stack is going to be in question now. There you go, it's broken, and at the worst time because Marzel got picked off. Trans gets 2 frags from the apartments, and now he's not checked, but he is checked by the slow player, HSB, saving his teammates by, by killing Amaterasu, who was ready to shoot Trans in the back. And Hellranger now in a 1v5, and without a chance, to be honest, in this round. And I just want to touch back onto this map pickup, right? This veto. PES actually banned out Inferno, so I don't really blame Entity Gaming for going for this Mirage pick. But honestly, if I was them, I would have tried to push this more towards maybe a train or a nuke or overpass, something like that, an outlier map. You don't want to play high pingers on a pug style map.
Yeah, true. I completely agree with you on that. I was a little surprised. I didn't take a look at the veto, but I do believe there was nuke and train was up for the offering for Entity to pick up, right? So these are maps that they're most confident on. Like Inferno is the best map. Second best is probably is Overpass, and Train is I think the third best map. So these are maps you would have liked to see them take a duel on. And Mirage, I mean, historically, Hellranger's always struggled. No matter what his team is, has always struggled trying to play Mirage. But this round, at least, it's gonna go the way, at least initially, for Entity Gaming. 2 quick kills coming out for Falcon and Marzel to a base, but the bomb's been spotted out as well. It has been smoked off though. And with this 5v3 scenario, PES, they find themselves on the back foot. Trans stuck towards Palace all by his lonesome. They know exactly where he is as well. Falcon holding a slightly off angle while they wait for Feint to make a move here.
And yeah, Entity Gaming picking up a leaf out of Invictus's book. Yesterday, Invictus was just hyper aggressive on Mirage, and Entity has done the same thing. They've got 2 frags, and now they're playing playing Mirage. Sorry, the perfect way it's supposed to be played. You get a pick, and then you fall back and you defend the bomb sites, and that's basically how you win a CT round every single time. It's a simple formula, to be honest, but really hard to execute.
They do have Criminal, who has made his way towards mid. Like you mentioned, Entity are playing very, very passively, so they have no eyes on mid. They are relinquishing that mid control, and Trans finding Falcon is big. Because now, Criminal, he's in a great spot here towards Connector. He can cut off the rotation if he times this right. Hellranger should be careful, but that sound being made by Criminal means he will be known, but he still wins the duel, and all of a sudden it's a 3v3. Marzel from below, finding a kill, finds 2. It's all on Trans now. He's got 1 kill, but he's got to find more to make this happen. He's spotted number Mirage, but bomb is dropped, and Marzel will pick himself up a quad kill on Entity's first proper buy round after losing the second round anti-eco. So at least to keep 4 players alive. But for PES, they're going to have more than enough money to go for a full buy. Look at that, Adi. I mean, they have AKs, they have an AWP, and they still have enough money in the coffer to go for yet another buy if needs be.
Yep, and it's basically due to the back of a couple of clean rounds after their anti-ecos. 4 players alive in round number 3, and round number 4, they had 5 players alive. And this helps you build up your bank. And now PES has gone back to a slower default. They aren't going for that quick A play that they were planning last round. They are trying to take mid control now, as well as it's basically the standard default. You send 2 to mid, you send 1 to underpass, 1 watches B, and 1 watches A. It's basics of Mirage.
Yep, they are pushing up though, and the timing is perfect. Criminal out-peeking Sai, who will be left caking himself. He needed to land that shot. And it's a crucial kill. The AWP is being taken out of the equation. Luckily, Amaterasu is still floating towards the ladder room, so he does have information, and B-Short has not been completely compromised. But look at the defense for Entity Gaming. They're far away from each other. Falcon and Mars are at least taking some initiative to try and ensure that they have some map control in one extremity of the map. But the fact that Trans is floating around towards Palace is going to be a problem, and he just might find Falcon here trying to cross on over. Falcon, he has an inkling. Trans is there. He transports off the barrel of the gun. He gets a free kill, and 1 by 1 Entity Gaming are falling 5v3, and the bomb is making its way towards B. Hellranger's got a lot of work to do here.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Falcon, their trance had heard them push the slope, and hence he walked back, bided his time, and then, shot Falcon in the back. And if you quickly look at HSB, he's sneaked in. He's going to catch Mazel in the back. He sneaked in from the connector to jungle, and Entity, their defense is just falling apart. Hellranger now does get a frag. Amaterasu gets the frag as well. Hellranger gets 2 frags over to the B bomb side, and all of a sudden it's completely turned on its head, but Amaterasu is the only one left alive. Misses the shot onto Criminal, and HSB as well. And HSB is going to trade him out. Amaterasu, not known for his op play, and that was very evident there.
Yeah, I think he kind of ran out of the bullets and just picked up a gun immediately, hoping that he was able to channel his inner side, but gets taken down. And 4-2 for PES. This is a solid round. Not only do they get to 4 rounds, they also break the economy of Entity Gaming. Like, so everyone knows, city side economy, it's hard. You need to string multiple rounds in a row while keeping a lot of players alive to start building up a bank. And Entity Gaming just winning the second round, it's not going to be enough. It's going to be a full eco this time around, though. They don't have anything to work with, just USPs, and the one soul feed of 50 being purchased by Hellranger. And for PES, again, playing it very, very passive. I like this default from PES. It's not static all the time. This is a little bit of a switch up. They have Trans playing towards T-spawn rather than playing towards Palace, but their pacing, so to speak, with the T side has been pretty on point.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, they're playing really defensive this round. I just want to touch back onto Entity Gaming. Yeah, earlier today, I know this for a fact that Prashant, their coach, has spent at least 3 hours with them, prepping them for this game. And it must be heartbreaking for him to see the start that Entities had right now, because they won the pistol, and then they lose the anti-eco. Then they win the first guy buy round, and then they're reset immediately. As a coach, I know this as a fact, by the way, because I did spend a little while coaching Brutality as well through a couple of maps, not as an official coach, but just helping them out where I could. Mm-hmm. And it kind of hurts you when the basics are going wrong. When the anti-force buys, and especially the important rounds, after your all-important first gun round. When you lose those kind of rounds, it really hurts morale, and it really hurts you as a coach as well. And of course, this is a full eco round, so I'm just blabbering about nonsense right now. And HSB does get the first frag onto Amaterasu. Mazel, though, gets the trade, while HSB is just sneaking in, and the CTs are just... He's running in, and the counter-terrorists are just unaware. Where's your sound, lads?
That was a little strange. It did come down to the wire. I like what PS are doing. It's worked out for them well so far, at least. Like, they have like 10 seconds, 15 seconds remaining before they make their way to the bomb sites. I'm curious to see if that's gonna, still work out later in this half when Entity have their guns. They have been counting down the clock, and they don't necessarily, at least in this round, right, they really didn't have any information as to how the setup was, either towards A or B. They walked in straight towards the B bomb set. Luckily for them, Entity had just USPs. Only Hellranger had a P250 to work with, so it worked out in their favor. But they could have easily walked in to a full stack, and Feint seems to be looking the wrong way. He doesn't seem to know where Falcon is, and Falcon, doing great work with that USP of his, is still trying to find more criminals. Like, okay, breaks his neck at the very end, but 3 kills for Entity in that round, considering they invested just $300 overall as a team. They should be pretty happy with the way that one played out.
HSB is a little lucky that the Negev price has been reduced to $1,700, because he just misbought a Negev. And you'll see it on the floor somewhere.
They should be wielding that. Come on, guys. Where is it?
There it is.
Why not? Why not? Like,
Yeah,
just for the lulz, just for the memes. But Entity, they've gone for the fourth spy, of course. Second round loss bonus kicking in, just equalizing the money out, an average of $3,000 on each and every one of them. And playing a little bit more up close, a little bit of aggressive control towards mid, but leaving the A-bombs are completely open. And Trans, he's been quite a revelation towards Palace, man. He's been getting kills at will, finds Falcon, and it's almost like it's a very tough spot to play, right, Adi? I mean, everyone knows where you're playing from. They know where you're going to be peeking out from, and yet he's out-dueling the CTs. And he's been pretty impressive for me so far.
Yep, I completely agree. And of course, this is just a pistol round. Coming in by Entity Gaming, and Sai with the sweet 1 dig onto Trans and shutting his apartment's control down. HSB, wow. Through the smoke, takes down Sai. Mazel and Amaterasu have fallen elsewhere in the map as well. That just leaves Hellranger to run through the smoke and die. And 6-2 in the favor of Portal eSports now. And Entity Gaming they need to do what they did in the 5th round. They need to aggress, get a couple of frags, and then play slightly defensive and have a clean round because they really need to get their economy rolling right now.
Yeah, the economy is looking... I mean, if they lose this round, they will have to eco again because it's still going to be just the 4th loss bonus, which is $2,900. And finally, a tactical timeout will come out for the Indian side. We do have the AWP in the hands of Sai once more. This time around, at least he does have some Kevlar to work with. He had gone for the glass cannon the first time he did go for the AWP buy. And for PES, looking solid right now. HSB 11 frags for him, Trans 9 kills. And this this default setup they have, it's like Entity don't seem to really have an answer for it so far. Like, they have Trans playing towards Palace, right? They have a player, I do believe it's Criminal, playing towards top mid, that too passively, waiting near TV room, and then one guy playing aggressively towards B apartment, just, just waiting for any push for Entity to aggress and get map control. They haven't really gone for it, apart from towards T slope, A slope rather. And when they do try and push an underpass or push top mid, they're going to be in for a surprise because I don't think they've really tested this default from PES so far.
Yep, I agree. And Entity is just going to play defensive. Oh no, they are going for the apps aggression this time, which is a good thing. It seems like it's going to be a delayed apps aggression, that too. They're waiting. They know. It's a good adjustment coming out by Entity, to be honest. But this time, PES has already accounted for that, and they've adjusted to playing 2 at ramp instead. And Entity Gaming, considering that apps has been generally occupied by a terrorist, they might be forced to actually rotate 1 or 2 extra players towards the B bomb site. And it actually might be the right call as well at this point because the C4 is going B, but that's just played out on luck more than anything else. And Criminal is going to be Criminal and Trans are going to be trying to fake the A bomb, the A play. But they are falling back, and
they did bring back Sai from... He was rotating towards B, but he did fall back because of that Molotov and the nade. This actually could work out for them. Amaterasu and Hellranger, they have faced quite a lot of action towards the B bomb set now. Amaterasu has 1 incendiary, so if he can time that right, 41 seconds, he should be using it right about now. He sees that coming in, but doesn't have time. He's got to take the kill. It's going to be Poke Monster who's going to get the opening kill. Finds Amaterasu. Now Hellranger needs backup, and it's going to be Sai. He's going to decapitate HSB, but Poke Monster with a quick trade again. This guy is being quite a beast. Molotov to flush out Hellranger. Needs to get a kill, but Poke is not stopping anytime soon. He finds a 3rd kill for himself, and Falcon will be forced back. The call for the save has rung out, and Marzel and Falcon will have to fall back. Beautiful openings coming out from PES, and Poke living up to his moniker. What a monster.
yeah, and I don't understand what Entity took the tac pause for, because they didn't do anything. They literally, I mean, all right, they aggressed apartments, but considering they didn't find anyone there, Marzel didn't continue his aggression at apartments. They didn't try to re-aggress slope or anything, so I really have no clue what was going on in that timeout or what they talked about, because whatever they talked about did not work. And PS, another clean round for them, honestly. 4 people alive. Just look at the bank built up on them now. Poke Monster 11k, Criminal at 10k, Feint and HSB at 8k, and it's just ridiculous. Entity Gaming is it's just, this calls the veto into question again. Simple as that. I have no idea why they would play Mirage.
I mean, this is a question most of us, especially Archie, has been questioning this time and time again, so I just have to give a shout out to him. He's always never been a fan, a critic. He's been a big critic of Hellranger's Mirage, and this is being laid out for all to see. PES, very surgically dissecting the CD side defense being put up by Hellranger and his men, and now we do see some aggression coming out. I do like the fact that the 2 rivals are playing together, Falcon and Marzel, and it's going to be Pokemon again. This guy is just taking heads and asking no questions. Falcon and Marzel will both fall, and more importantly, that's both the rifles taken out of the hands of the CTs and Pokemon. So look at him aggressing out further. Henry's going to jump straight out, but the timing! Oh lordy, the timing! Hellranger runs out of bullets. He almost finds Feint. That is just so unfortunate, but this makes things a little doable for Entity. Amaterasu, however, will have to take the long-range duel with a 5.7. Not the best of guns to go for a duel at that range, and Sai is going to be left alone. 1v3, I think he's just going to be holding on to his this AK and saving. Or, no, he's going to be coming in from behind, and Criminal, he's heard him walking up. And Sai, yeah, he's not going to be going for this fight. He's just going to be looking for exits and holding on to this AK-47.
Yep, and before Fett even talked about Hellranger's Mirage, I think I was the first one to call it out, to be honest, because I really thought that Hellranger's T sides on Mirage and that Sai gets taken down. He's not going to be able to save that AK. Doesn't matter much because he is going to be able to buy the next round anyway. But yeah, getting back to the Mirage and Hellranger point, right? This is the CT side. Entity should be doing well on the CT side because Hellranger's T side on Mirage, it's appalling. Like I've said this for almost a year and a half now, by the way. This is back when Hellranger was in Eternal eSports and what was it, MXB at the time?
Yep.
Dare to Dream, etc. Whatever monikers his team is.
Eternal, yeah. 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not going to work out right now. They need to pick up all the 5 rounds, and I still don't think they have enough in the tank. Even if they do win 7, I don't think they're gonna do this. And the T-slope aggression coming in by Marzel picks up 1 frag. Wow, Falcon on the other hand picks up 2. Feint and Trance trying to run through the smoke. That's a bit silly by them. Obviously, they were trying to switch up the pace, but that wasn't working out. HSB does get 2 frags, though. The A-bomb site is completely open at this point, but it is a 2v3 situation now. HSB and Criminal. They need to pull this round out of their ass at this point.
Round of the ass, and HSB with a beautiful shot coming out of his ass. He finds Hellranger as well. I'm at the Ross, so he's going to be left alone. And HSB just taking matters into his own hands. He now has 4 kills. He probably would be looking for the ace as well. And Amaterasu, all the pressure is on him. The veteran in this lineup. Called by many. Perhaps the most well-rounded player in the country. And he does spot out HSB's head. Goes for the taps. Not quite able to land it. Incendiary is going to come out. Is it going to be a little too deep is the question as Criminal is going to save his teammate. He gets the kill. And that is going to be around PES. Somehow, no matter how bad it looks, they have these individual moments where they just go big, and even when the individuals aren't going off, like the way they're approaching this T side is looking phenomenal. 9-2, and Entity Gaming are getting their ass handed to them.
Yep, I completely agree, and this is unfortunate because this game was supposed to be hype. This game is supposed to be, well, Entity's supposed to be like arguably one of the best teams in India and probably the best at one point. Maybe towards the end of last year, but this year they've looked like a shadow of themselves. They started off pretty strong, to be honest. I won't lie. They look pretty strong at the start of the year, but now HSB through the smoke. Somebody whack this man right now because he's sitting at 16 frags, and I think he wants to drop a 30 bomb.
Yeah, 16 frags in 11 rounds is frankly a little obscene. Hellranger in the smoke like a wraith finds a kill, but Feint will just feint through the edge of the wall, takes his head off, and now one by one they're falling. There's no trade potential. The CZs can do some damage, but Marzel is waiting for someone to walk in. Spots out HSB, but HSB, there's no stopping him. Right now, he's winning every single side. He's going to be caught out with his pants down by Trans, and that's going to leave Falcon alone in a 1v4. Nothing's going to happen. But just touching upon what you just mentioned right now, Adi, I really personally feel that, you know, we keep talking about Indian teams and whatnot, but the thing with PES are they haven't really played that many tournaments. But if anyone had the opportunity to watch, or had the time to watch the WESG Asia, the close qualifiers, I think the LAN finals rather, they actually had a pretty good showing. They played against Australia's Order. They played against I'm not sure which team it was. I think one of the Thai teams or whatever. And I think they played against a couple of Australian teams and one of the Thai teams, again also one of the Chinese teams. And they actually had some very, very close games where they actually choked at the last hurdle. They got a map point very consistently, at least at a couple of the games, and they lost in a miserable fashion, like going down to overtime. But they have shown that they can hold their own against some of the best that the Asia-Pacific region can offer. Not just the regional competition, right? Not just in India, not just in South Asia, but Southeast Asia and even Australia for that matter. So I think, just because they are from Pakistan, they don't get much, they get pretty messy, rough ping for any other online tournament. Many people are not aware of them. But I've been keeping notes on this team, and they have looked solid. And just looking at this game, right, despite having the ping disadvantage, there are not many flaws I can find in the way they're approaching this T side. Sure, a couple of rounds where they got a little overconfident, pushing in through the smokes towards A, for example. But apart from that, this has been some pretty solid textbook Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Entity Gaming, by the way, had won the knife round, and they did opt to start on the CT side, as we do see a full buy coming in from them finally. I think this is just their third full buy of the game, by the way, or maybe the fourth. But yeah, if when I was playing in Brutality, right, and we played against a team who had a really high ping, we would go for the T side first, no matter what the map was. Just because you would see how many ever rounds you could win on the T side, and there you see finally Marzel the aggression paying off. Pop flashes Trans and then shoots him while he's blind. And now, finally, Entity Gaming with the man advantage again.
They do get the man advantage a couple of times, but always somehow PES find a way to bounce back. But right now, again, mid-control being contested, and it is going to be Falcon taking a bit of damage, and they were waiting for Amaterasu to peek out. He peeks out, he gets taken out, but Falcon, he's doing a great job here, getting 2 kills and not taking too much damage, considering the 63 points of health. It's not too shabby at all. The 2v4. We've seen the scenario before, we've seen how PS can bounce back, especially Poke and Criminal, both alive. Criminal, with that AWP of his, is he going to spot out Sai is the question. Sai holding a slightly off angle with that AWP of his. He should win this duel 9 times out of 10. He will indeed. Criminal's gonna fall. The bomb's been spotted out as well. So Entity Gaming, after what feels like forever, will finally get another round on board.
Yep, and unfortunately, HSB was not alive in this round to bail his team out. But, yeah, I lost my chain of thought there. But I was gonna say something pretty substantial. I'm sure it'll come back to me. But yeah, I mean, oh yeah, I was going to talk about Amaterasu while Hellranger does get the final frag onto Pokemonster. Amaterasu was sitting in the connector, right? He had an M4A1S. I'll tell you why there were 2 players staring at that angle. Because they spotted the gun barrel.
Oh, I thought it was staring into the wall.
No, he stared out for a second. And that's when they spotted his gun. And that's not a mistake coming in from... It's nerves, basically, right? Because you know you have an M4A1S and... Amaterasu is arguably one of the best players in India, right? At one point, I mean, he's been called the best player of India by the owner of Flipside Tactics, right, as well. And I forgot his name.
Hector.
I'm sure. Yes, by Hector. And PS switching up the pace this round, rushing B, and Sai has no idea. He misses his shot. Pokemonster jumping out, getting the frag. Hellranger gets a frag, but he is instantly traded out by Trance. And Amaterasu with an AWP. Second time this time, and I hope it works out for him this round. But it is a 3v4 retake, and Entity Gaming really needs to win this round. While Mazel does pick up Pokemonster, and now Falcon, he does have the backstab, but he has been spotted out by Trance, and Trance, he's just holding. The pop flash does come out, but Falcon isn't flashed by that. Feint does get the frag onto Mazel, while Falcon does get Trance. Amaterasu missing another shot, and he does pick up the AK finally, but he is going to be shot in the back by Criminal. That leaves Falcon in a 1v2, and in basically an unwinnable situation right now, because Criminal does take him down as he falls down off the apartments. And it's just the same thing again for Entity Gaming. They've been reset as soon as they win a round, and now they have no money going into the final round of this game. Actually, I say that, and they do have 3 M4s. My bad.
Utility will be sparse, so which is why we do have the 2 pistols coming out for Falcon and Amaterasu. But yeah, this has been a very rough game overall. I mean, it's a saying in the Indian scene, if Hellranger's like close to top fragging on their side, something's really going wrong. Not dissing on Hellranger, the guy has shown that he does have the chops, but you know, when you have stars of the nature of a Mazel, when you have Amaterasu, when you have Sai playing for you, and none of them are really stepping up. Mazel did have a couple of good rounds where there was one round where he got a 4K, which they won. I think it was the second round in this half, but that's not enough. Amaterasu is sitting on 3, Sai on 4, and once again, PES with the man advantage. And again, I like what they do here. Once the initial skirmish takes place, they slow things down a bit. Just slow things down, gather the sensors, just gather the troops, just wait for any aggression to come out from the cities, and then it work together. You know, it's a slightly Navi-esque sort of an approach, a little bit more explosive, I'd say. And here they're going to be telegraphing the presence towards B. In the meantime, Poke finding Falcon, who was trying to sneak in from T-spawn. That A bomb site is completely bereft of any CT presence. But PES, they look like they're looking to commit towards this B bomb set. But Hell and Amaterasu playing together. Hellranger with the M4. I'm sure he spotted one player crossing on over. He's going to drop on down. Oh, did he not spot out Trance? This is curious, but a great call coming from PES. They're going to be making their way towards A. Now, Hellranger's got a lot of work to do. And bear in mind, Criminal and Poke are both pretty low. Poke is going to fall, and Hellranger's wary of the flank, which is there in the form of Trance. He spots a feed out. He spots him out, rattles off a few bullets. Now Trance knows where Hellranger is. Hellranger's taking the fight. He has no idea where the bomb is getting planted. He gets a kill onto Trance. Amaterasu finds Feint, and all of a sudden, it is a 1v2. Criminal with the AWP, and he's going to miss the shot. Amaterasu, he is on the hunt here. They know that he's all alone. And he goes to the flick shot, but the nade's going to sail in, and it's going to be perfect. Hellranger with a crucial 3K. I honestly felt that round would have gone the way of PES, but somehow Amatros and Hellranger pulling up the pants and stealing at least one more round for Entity Gaming. But 11-4. 4 rounds on the CD side. I don't think it's going to be enough at all, Adi.
Yeah, I completely agree. And PES honestly shooting themselves in the foot right there because they had the man advantage, right? It was 4v2. All they had to do was bunch up together and rush in. This is you kind of make these sort of mistakes towards the tail end of a game, right? You start overthinking things, and that's what cost them the round there. And we do have Criminal picking up the kit now on the pistol round for PES, while the rest of his players are on armor, and only Hellranger has utility on the T side. And it's going to be interesting what strat we see coming out of this. But the dot stop has been called by PES, and Hellranger is going to oblige. So we are going to replay the start of that round. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, by the way. 11-4, even 4 rounds on the CD side isn't enough. Maybe at least if it was maybe 5 or 6, you would say it's workable. But we have seen crazier things happen, right? Entity can definitely come back from this. That's the beauty of Counter-Strike. You're never out until one team has reached 16 rounds.
That is true. The magic number is 16 with PES. If they win this pistol round, things are going to get very rough for Entity. One thing to be said, though, Hellranger's pistol rounds, especially his T pistol rounds, are always fun to watch. He always seems to have something new on whatever map they're playing on. So we do have a player timed out for PES. It should be, I think it's Pokemonster who has timed out, and he should be back very, very shortly. But they've just been hitting everything. Poke has been huge on the B bomb side, opening things up. HSB with some crucial rounds. He was looking almost unstoppable at a point. Trans lurking, floating towards the A Palace. This T side has just been some very, very good, solid, fundamental Counter-Strike, right? Nothing too crazy, nothing too flashy. And when things really didn't work out, I like how calm PES were, because compared to many of the teams playing in the Indian, the Masters, the Premiership Masters, whenever they're at a disadvantage, like a 2v4 or a 3v5 or whatever, I've seen many teams who actually have a lot of experience with them, kind of lose their mind, so to speak. They don't seem to slow things down and think it's a winnable round. Instead, just go running out and hope to like land 3 or 4 headshots. Instead, looking at the way PES are playing, like for example, the 2v3 or 2v4 round comes to mind in the A bomb side where HSB just got 3 huge kills. They slow things down. They use a utility, they hold the angles, they just work as a unit and somehow manage to convert a round, which they honestly had no business winning. So I've been very impressed so far, at least on the T side. Now, what I want to see from Entity is their T side, because the CD side, if it's going to be anything similar to the CD side, I believe this is going to be a done and dusted game. I think it's going to go 16-7 or 16-6 the way of PES.
Yeah, of course, that completely depends on the pistol round. But in another, I wanted to add another point, by the way, to the PES, to what you were saying about Portal Esports. I think what has helped them in this game as well is the fact that Entity is such a structured team. I think PES would actually struggle against, a more random approach of gaming, like just a chaotic approach to gaming, so to speak. So I think like a team like Brutality, a team like Invictus, with that explosive, with the explosive nature of their game, so to speak, I think that would really push PES to the limit. And, they would struggle against that. But I know it's a little bit controversial, of course, because Entity Gaming has been practicing against the SCA teams, right? Where structured play matters, where structured play is actually better. But in the Indian meta, it's not the case.
True, which is strange. Whenever I speak to Pra Equitas, who's coaching Entity, and he always says how Entity struggles against the more random teams, the teams who are more aim heavy, like some of the SCA teams, some of the Thai teams especially. They're very well known for being extremely aim heavy and hard to read. But he has said that their play style is more suited to more tactical and more role-oriented teams. And PES are actually playing a very, decent, tactical, solid style of Counter-Strike, which is what is surprising me. It's not like PES are just exploding into sites, just running out through the smokes. No, they're playing Entity. They're just like, toying with Entity, like Entity's a marionette, and they're just like, using the strings to play them, which is what I'm finding very surprising. They are getting tactically outplayed.
I'll tell you why that is. Because it's Mirage. It's not a very tactical map, to be honest. Like, of course, the basics are there, the defaults are there, there are some executes, but at the end of the day, it's a dust 3, right? And that's what we've jokingly called it
praying
as
to
well.
the gods right now. Is it looking up is like # my army, please help me out. But here we go. back to reality. It is going to be the second half resuming. Entity Gaming, they did have a little bit of utility the previous round. Hellranger once again will be the utility guy for the team. A smoke, a flashbang in the hands of the captain. And for the rest of the team, just Glocks and armor. For PES, it's going to be Criminal. He's going to be taking one for his side. He's got a kit and he's got a smoke, and he's going to be spotting out towards mid. P2K in hand, a gun which you don't see that often. And it's a pretty default setup coming out from the Pakistani side. 2-1-2 setup, although Poke is pushing up towards underpasses, trying to spot anyone out early on. But look at this setup from Entity, Yadi. It's a very passive hold. Marzel playing towards apartments. They have Sai alongside Falcon just spotting for any push up towards mid, and then you have Hellranger and Amaterasu just waiting for the aggression. So they are kind of taking a leaflet out of PES's gamebook. But where did it go now is the question.
Yeah, and I really don't understand this, of course, in the pistol round, because generally a CD team is not going to aggress on a map like Mirage on the pistol round. You want to play the ranges that the USP and the P2000 affords you, right? So a little curious for me anyway, but it does look like Entity Gaming is going to try to fake A, and then there's going to be the mid to connectors, or mid to B short actually split coming in. HSB is going to see action now, whiffs his shots. He does still pick up, well, actually Falcon helps him out there, picking up Anuj Amaterasu, but he will kill HSB as well, and it's a 4v4 now. And there are 3 players on the B bomb side for PES, but one of them is taken out of the equation by Falcon, making up for his team kill, going above and beyond now, making up for his team kill by getting 3 more frags. And Criminal, though, is going to get Marzel, and now he's still alone on the B bomb side. His backup has finally arrived, but Criminal has been shot in the back by Falcon, who's sitting on a 4K now. Falcon and Hellranger now in a 2v1 situation against Trans. They shouldn't be losing this, and this is a very important round for Entity Gaming, and hopefully they do pick it up.
But Trans just destroys Hellranger. Now knows where Falcon is, but Falcon, he finally goes above and beyond, and the ace, the first ace of this game, and what a time to come alive for him.
And by the most unexpected player as well, right? Your support player coming out, not your star player like Sai or Mazel. It's a support player bringing that ace out for you. Entity Gaming, though, now taking a timeout, which is smart because they do not want to lose another anti-eco.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be tickling at the base of the skulls, right? They won the pistol round on the CD side very convincingly. For those of you just tuned in, the first pistol round went the way of Entity, and it was a very convincing win. Although it came down to 1v1, it was a 3v1 at one point. I don't think HSP had any chance of winning it, so they won it convincingly. But then look at the story that has been told. It was basically PES winning almost 10 rounds in a row, almost, like, apart from round number 5, which Entity won, but then they got reset immediately afterwards. So they're going to be feeling the heat. They've gone for a very conservative buy, have the Indian side. 3 UMPs, a MAC-10 in the hands of Hellranger, and the Soul AK-47 in the hands of Amaterasu, which I think was dropped by Falcon. So Falcon playing for his team, not looking to go for glory plays, but Entity are committing full on for this A hit, Adi. I'm not a big fan of this.
Well, unfortunately, it's because they don't have the information, but it is something Entity likes to do, and PES knows that. They do like to buy the SMGs, right, and a lot of utility, and then just execute upon a bomb site. And clearly, PES has been watching demos. The execute does come up. Trans gets pop flashed into apartments, gets a frag onto side. Then Falcon does get the reply, but Trans does get taken down by Amaterasu as well. 4v3 now. HSB with the deagle. 1 dig to Mazel's head. And now it's 3v3. The smoke's gonna run out. HSB. He has heard out Amaterasu. And HSB with another 1 dig onto Hellranger. Things are going from bad to worse. Both Falcon and Amaterasu are now on the last breaths of life. And PES. But Pokemonster does get a frag onto Falcon. And Amaterasu sitting on 2 points of health and no chance in hell, to be honest.
That shot by Poke was disgusting. I felt that in my gut. That was just disgusting. Through the pallet on top of the box. And Entity Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, will get ecoed once more. PES showing that 140 ping or not, they are deadly and they will punish you if you don't give them enough respect. And I didn't say it, they just, he's just executing towards the A bomb side, going for contact plays, especially when you know that PES are hitting the shots. I've never been a big fan of that, and they didn't really walk into a stack per se. It was just like 3 players waiting there, but that deagle worked. I do believe it was from HSB, from Connector, I think it was. Great shots coming out from him, and then of course Pokemonster and the rest of the team chiming in and completely destroying Entity Gaming. This has gone from bad to worse. And a force fight is going to come in again for Entity. This time around, just pistols against the rifles, and it is going to be Criminal with a nice pop flash to waltz in with that. With the Mac 10, he's going to continue to run. How is he alive? He finally going to fall down. But Poke is going to poke out. He finds one. He is blinded, but they've blinded everyone as well. And Trans still hiding on top of Palace. He's going to find a kill on his side. Thing here is Mazel. He's been spotted out. He was trying to do his best James Bond impression, trying not to be spotted out, but they know exactly where he is. Beautiful shot on HSB though, but 13 HP, and it'll be finally found out by Trans. Couple of casualties for PES, but they're not going to be too worried about it. 13 rounds for them. An Entity, they didn't get the bomb down. It is going to be eco territory once more, and that's an opportunity for PES to get to round number 14.
Trans, man, he's been a real thorn in the backside for Entity Gaming because he's just not let go of that apartments. T side, CD side, it doesn't matter. Trans is there, and Trans is gonna shut you down. And I honestly, like, I'm gonna take this time of this eco round to just touch on Entity Gaming a little bit. A couple of days ago, they lost to Intensity Pune 5, an unknown team, and obviously they haven't dealt with that. They haven't fixed whatever went wrong there, and things are just going to go from bad to worse now because it basically looks like this game is on its last breath.
Yeah, I've not seen anything apart from the CT pistol round, and then of course even the T pistol round was basically Falcon just going off, right? It wasn't too as clean as the first round. Apart from that, I really haven't seen anything crazy from Entity. Sure, they tried going for some aggression towards T-Slope on the city side, you know, that one round where they pushed into towards Palace to find Trans, but that was a little too late. Haven't really seen anything from them, considering, you know, they are the most well-known team in the country. They are, you know, the only fully sponsored team as far as I'm aware. I think they have a couple other teams as well, but and looking at the pedigree of these players, Hellranger, Falcon, Mars, Lemethros, Asai, I mean, these guys are pretty much some of the best we have in the country, and this is just very sloppy. As Pokemonster, despite getting taken down, this guy will still kill you after he's dead. From beyond the grave, he fries Amaterasu alive. Fresh kebabs on top of mid, and now it's a 3v3. However, in a 3v3 scenario, especially on a map like Mirage, you would favor the T side. And it's going to be Feint who's going to be seeing some action. The nade sailing in, taking 1 point of damage is Marzel. CSGO things.
I know, the nades definitely do require a buff. But Feint has spotted out a couple of players now, probably. He's gonna pop flash, fall back. He's calling for the cavalry, calling for the backup, and the backup is forthcoming in the name of Criminal. And Entity Gaming, though, have thought better of this, and they seem to be falling back. Or no, Hellranger is just a bit curious right now. Hellranger is gonna go and fake at A, and then they're gonna go for B, and hopefully for Entity Gaming, Marzel and Falcon don't play their hand too quickly. Don't move too early.
35 seconds. Hell has got to make this play happen. The smokes are raining in. I think he's going to try. I think they're going to be coming up underpass. I believe they did toss everything they had. And now Hellranger just walked in towards the A bomb site. Is he still going to be passive? Hold on his trigger finger is a question. He spots a Trans still caught looking towards CD spawn. Hellranger just opened up the A bomb site. A bomb is making its way, but 15 seconds. It still needs to cross on over. And guess who's waiting? Criminal. He hears Marzel coming up. Marzel rattling off a bullet. He announces where he is, and Criminal's going to win the duel. 7 HP though, and Hellranger's going to be found out as well. It's all on Falcon, but he's got to cross on over, and he will.
There's no time.
At least there's no time. And that is going to be PES getting to map point in a heartbreaking fashion for Entity. They had a great game plan there, but didn't quite time it right. So Falcon at least does keep that AK-47 with him, although he doesn't have any money, and we will see the third tactical timeout coming out for Entity Gaming, and things have gone from bad to worse to holy shit.
I completely agree, and oh god, Entity Gaming, it's disappointing actually, this performance coming out by them. I won't lie. I've said this before as well against Intensity Pune 5. They just didn't look up to it. You know, they're not hitting their shots. They're not doing anything innovative, and it's coming to bite them at this point. They did try to, at least they should have stuck with that fake, right? And I think they're just overthinking things. It happens under the pressure of this sort of game and this sort of deficit that they're at. But they should have stuck to their game plan there and then just let Hellranger fake and then backstab onto the B bomb side.
I don't think they
silly.
really had utility though. Did Hell have any utility? I didn't notice that.
He did have a smoke and a flash, I'm pretty sure.
Alright.
He could have used it earlier, maybe. But no, he did use it, right? Because he sneaked into the A bomb side. So they did have the utility, but now it's the Hail Mary buy coming in, 3 pistols, and HSV missing a shot. That's uncharacteristic of it, and that's given Entity Gaming a chance in this game.
Look at the push from Poke though. He's walked all the way top of it, and amongst all the criticism that we've been leveling against Entity Gaming, let's be honest, PES have played a masterclass T side, and even the CD side as well. Great work from them. And Mazel, trying to be cheeky, gets caught out by Pokemonster. This just might be the end here. The Executors coming towards A. The smokes will dissipate in the next few seconds. Amaterasu is going to be flashed in, but Pokemonster somehow manages to make his way back to his jungle. That's great awareness from him, knowing that a flashbang might be coming in, and he is wary of the fact that Amaterasu is floating around, that Galil and Sai as well towards the benches. This is a very, very, very rough positioning. Amaterasu, however, finds Poke, switches over to the M4. They still don't know there's a player hugging the wall towards Connector. He's going to go for the play here, but the smoke's going to bloom and it's going to be faint, announcing his presence with a few bullets through the smoke. Amaterasu is walking out. The bomb is going to get planted. Trans hasn't announced his presence yet, and it's going to be faint, finding Amaterasu in the smoke. Quick trade comes in from Falcon. Now it's a 3v3. Trans waiting for someone to cross and over, but he gets spotted out. Almost finds the kill on the Falcon and survives barely on 3 points of health. And now Sai with the UMP, hugging the corner of the wall. Criminal will spot him out. Perfect timing from him. And Criminal finds a frag. Now it's Falcon. He's got to go big here. He's going to get the kill on the Trans. Looking for more, but it's all the Hell Ranger. Goes for the spray, but Criminal's going to take him down. And just like that, PES are going to demolish Entity Gaming. What a showing from the Pakistani side. Entity Gaming, they've never really felt like they were in the game.
Yes, I completely agree. And Entity Gaming really needs to go back to the drawing board now and especially continue banning out Mirage because it's terrible. It's a terrible map for them. And but yeah, I mean, that's about it. I really don't want to break down this game any further because one team showed up, the other one didn't. And that's going to be it from us. I was Adi, and joining me was the ever jovial Blay.
Yay.
We'll see you again.
I think we're off.
Well, everybody. This is going to
What
be
a
a
shit
Portal
that was.
eSports game
Yeah, I'm pretty
after all.
sure.
Angie.
I wish they would give us
I
an
mean,
all
they
clear.
played fantastic. Their aim was on point. Their coordination was brilliant. Their rotations were perfect. I think they played amazing Counter-Strike over there. And like I say in Dota, like strategic gameplay. I think today Portal Esports shows very strategic gameplay.
Indeed. The synergy was in place. The coordination was in place. The team calling was in place. The strats were in place. In fact, this is so unlike an Entity game. I don't understand what, like, me and a couple of friends were chatting about how, like, if we replace Sai with the bot, it wouldn't make much of a difference. Like, it came down to that.
Yeah.
A single-digit loss for Entity Gaming is something which...
And it's also a little concerning because they are the best team in India. I mean, they're supposed to be the best team as of now. And they're reigning supreme in India. Of course, they very recently taken a very heavy loss to Intensity Pune 5. But we can call that a bad day for Entity. But this wasn't a bad day. This was just Portal Esports wiping the floor.
Yeah, definitely. Absolute spanking coming in from Portal Esports. They are absolutely looking so well in shape. I'm looking forward to a Brutality Portal Esports game.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some fireworks there. And I did not expect Entity Esports to lose a second game in a row. This makes it 3 games. 3 games as losses altogether and 2 back-to-back. If they lose the next one, it's going to be a hat-trick altogether.
We could also see the standings while we talk about
Yeah,
this
sure.
to see.
Let's bring out the standings. So as we can see the standings here,
This is of Dota.
we have. Wait, is this Dota 2 standings? After CS,
They're just very excited.
my production has lost their cuckoo. They've lost their cuckoo. They're like after. So my PCR head replies that just like Sai, we're looking in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, Portal Esports now reigning in the 3rd position. They have easily overtaken Entity and Slaughter Rage Army. 5 games played, 4 victories, 1 loss, 12 points. Oh my God, that looks beautiful. Invictus Team Brutality, Portal Esports now in the top 3 spots. Entity Gaming going down under. Very unlike Slaughter Rage Army. Like I said, maximum effort reached there. 10 games played. 2 more apparently remaining now. So now it's all up to 2 easy Malar, Intensity, Pune 5 and Team Iathi to work some really good wonders here because they have the maximum amount of games under the kitty. They can truly make a difference and totally change the way this entire standing looks like. Well, I am expecting so much more from Team Brutality because A, they haven't lost a single game. B, they have, again, just like the others, they have 4 games under their kitty and all 4 of them have been victories. So for them, makes so much more sense to like continue the winning streak. In fact, the top team Invictus right now has 1 loss against them, right? So, I mean,
And they have been the only team that actually has defeated Portal Esports as of now. So if you guys have missed out on games, well, check it out. I mean, they're all available on our YouTube channel. People can definitely have a look on what went down over there. And I think after this, we can say that Invictus should be one of our top teams. I think they should be, I think, on the top, saying that they are the best team in the country as of now.
Indeed. So, well, that brings us to the end of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, ladies and gentlemen. That was an amazing game here. Shout out to both the teams here. More to Portal Esports for putting up that excellent Counter-Strike Global Offensive game. We'll take a short break here. On the other side, we have Dota 2 lined up. Remember, this is the ESL India Premiership 2018, brought to you by Omen by HP, HyperX, and Intel, and presented to you by Nordin Gaming.